And we are live.
Hello.
Here we are. Welcome to the Wednesday show.
Oh yeah, the best show
of the Pluralist Method.
Yeah.
We're gonna gaslight you into believing this is actually Wednesday.
Exactly. You have 2 more
back
days
in
of
time.
work. If you follow that work schedule, of course.
Sure.
Of course.
But no, welcome to the Pluralist Method. Today we've got a fun little show. Keep it light. Keep it humorous. Hopefully.
Yes.
Or
it could be extremely
boring,
dark
stale, and dark. Okay, we can take it that direction as well. Before we get started, there's a few housekeeping things we need to take care of. First off, of course, this will be your last show.
Yeah,
or at least of the Wednesday show.
Wednesday shows.
Wednesday/Thursday show.
I'm starting graduate school, so I need to utilize my time a little bit differently. But I will be here on the regularly broadcasted Sunday shows.
Okay. Yes, we'll still have the Sunday show. That will still be going on with the more in-depth topics. And, of course, don't fear. I know the 0 of you watching are really worried. You're going to miss out on your Wednesday hot takes. No, I will be filling in with something special. I haven't quite locked down what exactly we'll be doing, but we'll be doing something on Wednesday.
That's going to be exciting. I'm
to
actually excited to tune in.
We'll see what it is.
Yeah, as a listener.
It may be politically related. It might kind of converge off onto something else. Might bring in guests. I'm not sure yet, but mix it up.
I mean, it could go into the lone ramblings of
it could be
man.
Like an 8-hour stream late into the night.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like becoming delirious. Like, who knows?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But anyways, of course, before we get started as well, I wanted to mention Hickenlooper.
Yes, he dropped out.
So, following our kind of 2020 campaign lead up.
Oh, yes.
We have another one bites the dust.
Yes. I'm actually really... I kind of felt like that was going to come. I think he actually might go for Senate.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, would be pretty cool. There, in the news lately, at least, there have been some calls for some of these candidates to drop out and run for Senate.
I've heard some calls for O'Rourke, actually,
to
make take another shot at the Texas Senate.
It's possible. I mean, there, at least, there are Congress people who are retiring from Texas, but I don't know if there are Senate individuals. So,
and whatever side, this plays out for the Democratic field this election cycle, but I mean, whatever side you're on, you need other players in the game too. You can't just have everyone jump on the presidential path. You need people in the Senate, people running for Congress, running for those sort of
and even
positions
governor
as well, strong candidates.
Even governor. I mean, they have a pretty strong set of responsibilities and
especially if it's in the same year.
Oh, absolutely. Just because election turnout is a bit higher in presidential cycles rather than midterms. So that'll be something to look out for in the near future. I believe we have 9 people currently that are qualified for the debate, so that's going to be interesting. We're getting to the point where I'm hoping it will necessitate a 2-night event. I would really like that.
He's gonna rig a few polls just so he can get
his. Well, I mean, if we have a 2-night event with a much smaller field, we get a lot more time with each candidate talking.
Yeah, just like we discussed last week.
Yeah. I'm
we excited. Know you're big. You're a big fan of spreading it out over the 2 nights with the 10 candidates, or whatever the number will be.
Yeah. But let's actually
let's get into our topic. So of course, like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes.
Throw us a donation and follow us on Twitter.
Yep,
all the usuals. pluralist method. Today's quick little discussion is a kind of in the same vein of the fictional character executive branch show we had a few weeks back. If you haven't seen that one, check it out. It's pretty it's pretty stupid, but it's funny.
It is. We wanted to kind of take a step back. Instead of just the executive branch, we wanted to think about which superheroes would be in what political party. What is their political ideology?
Their political ideology more so.
What do they ascribe to?
Not just their party,
don't want to pigeonhole them into
a
party. Yeah.
I mean, they could be a progressive or they could be a socialist. Or they could be
exactly. There's a range here.
Yeah.
Actually, on multiple axes. So that's pretty interesting. Actually, do you want to just jump on in here?
Yeah, you can jump into it. Let's hear who you got.
So I first off have to go with DC Comics, The Dark Knight, Batman.
I apologize for that dog barking in the background as well.
Yes. Kenai, stop. All right.
Anyways,
I have
DC Comics.
Yeah, The Dark Knight, Batman himself. He is an ultra free market capitalist, obviously.
Sure.
He is
he wouldn't exist if that weren't the case. He's relying upon that. His superhero powers are reliant upon
it's money. Yes. His superpower is money. So literally, like, if you
the communist Batman wouldn't look very glamorous.
He'd have
it would just be an average dude in just like regular clothing with like a little bat hood on, just fighting thugs on the street.
Maybe not even doing well, because I mean, he didn't have the super awesome mentors that he would have had access to if he was rich. So communist Batman would have been crappy.
He had like a little shiv that he's holding, shapes it to a bat.
He ground it down himself on a rock.
It's like on a rock.
No, Batman is a super free market capitalist. He does not like regulation, hence his disdain for the police department, and that's why he became a vigilante to begin with. He has some libertarian ideologies in there because he feels like every person should be self-sufficient. You shouldn't rely on the man for things. You got to do it yourself. That's why I'm going to bring justice on my own.
But at the same time, I feel like he'd run into some issues where everyone's kind of bringing justice on their own, and then suddenly he's no longer that figure that he is,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there is some narcissism mixed in there, as with all superheroes, I think. But along with Batman, I also have, as far as maybe a free market capitalist, but a very capitalistic, almost nationalistic figure, which is Marvel's Captain America.
I've got him as well. Yeah, I've got him going almost into like some neoconservative kind of nationalist.
Oh, yeah. He's alt-right, especially
alt-right. Oh boy.
Yeah, or what would currently be ascribed to as alt-right. I truly think if you took a guy from
hyper-nationalistic.
Yeah, if you took a guy from that era.
Oh yeah, we discussed this before.
Yeah, and put him in today's society, it would not be as depicted in the comics.
From what the comics and the movies have shown us, he definitely he got with the program pretty quickly.
Yes. No, I truly don't think that he would have assimilated as well as we're giving him kind of credit for, unless part of his powers are super assimilation. He's super adaptable. No, Captain America definitely has some conservative ideologies. Maybe bordering the alt-right kind of movement.
Well, I mean, with the extreme level of nationalism, that's...
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's
in his name.
Captain America. It's super nationalistic, almost imperialistic in a way. Yeah, I think that would definitely be the case.
Once he starts moving into other countries and
forcing
American values on them,
Yeah, it becomes kind of rough. And he actually is... Anyway, I mean...
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. It could be rough. Lay on me some one of the ones you got.
So, staying in the libertarian camp. Not quite as capitalist, but I've got Wolverine.
Wolverine is
very much an individual. You know, he likes to take his own path, fend for himself, doesn't want to really be part of the collective.
Yeah, I mean, he fucking became a lumberjack at one point in the comics, moved to Alaska. And
he's the equivalent of like some guy moving to Oregon and, you know, living in the backwoods.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's a literal mountain man, which that's definitely.
He's definitely a loner, so.
Oh, absolutely.
And with his abilities as well, I think he would fare pretty.
Yeah, well,
he'd be all right.
Speaking of self-reliance,
don't really need healthcare there.
I was just about to bring that up.
Healthcare isn't necessary.
I was just about to bring that up. Like, one of the aspects of the libertarian movement that kind of has a bit of a flaw is, first off, you rely on some form of healthcare, as well as transportation, and I feel like Wolverine, he's not really gonna get sick, so healthcare isn't really a damn problem.
Sick, any sort of injury is no issue there.
No problems. And I feel like he doesn't really give a damn about transportation, so it works. But yeah, definitely no need for healthcare there. Now, what about Superman? We talked a little bit about this in the car on the way to work.
You can go with Superman.
I honestly, you brought up a good point this
Talking
morning.
about an illegal immigrant.
He is literally the ultimate illegal alien.
Becoming a national hero.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say he may have, again, like I said this morning, he may have some evangelical ideations. He grew up in the Midwest, a child of two farmers who were, if you see them in like the cartoons, and even in comics, they're depicted as very conservatively dressed, with his mother like has the bun and she's silver haired and whatnot.
I'm not too familiar with like all the lore of Superman. As far as him coming from, I mean, you may know this, but as far as him coming from like the sort of ranch out on the range, kind of a Midwest farm, where is that in relation to like was it Metropolis?
Oh, I honestly don't know.
Is that the city?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where is that in relation? Is it like a little farm outside the city? Or are we talking about like hundreds of miles here? Like the equivalent of Iowa and New York City?
Somewhere in between, I always thought. In my mind.
So like New York State, New York City?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, in New York State, you'll have some of that.
Sure. There's some farmland out there in New York State, yeah.
I would definitely say that. I'd say that Metropolis is a Midwestern city. Because for some reason,
like Chicago?
Yeah, probably, yes. Illinois. Metropolis is like Illinois, is like Chicago, Illinois, and then the farmland is like rural Illinois.
We won't go into other comparisons between Chicago and I won't even go there.
Anyway. No, I absolutely that would be the perfect little comparison there. But no. Superman is an evangelical conservative. I absolutely believe that, and I think that also.
I could see him. I could see him like, in retirement, taking on the role of like a preacher man for like a mega church.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of taking on this godlike deity.
Or he becomes a senator.
Or he just starts his own religion.
Oh,
actually, the Scientology route.
He very much could. He could, depending on how he aged, like, and whether or not he became like a crazy, wacky kind of person in his elder years.
What's the canon on Superman aging?
Yeah, I have no idea. I honestly don't know.
Does he age? What's going on there?
Yeah, we need comments, people.
We got one person in here. I don't know who this person is.
Give us your comment. No, it's crazy though. Yeah, absolutely evangelical conservative. What about you? Who you got?
Let's see what else we got up here. I've got So this might be. I don't know if I can back this one up, but I've got Spider-Man as a populist.
Okay. How so?
I don't know. I feel like he's. I don't even know if I can really back this one up, but kind of with the protector of the city and kind of all the people sort of coming around him and.
Oh yeah.
Really sort of idolizing him as like the everyday man's
yes
superhero.
He is an everyman. That could work.
Everyman.
Yeah.
An
everyday man. I mean, an everyman is also an everyday man.
An everyday man.
He is an everyman
every
every
man
day.
Is every day.
Yeah.
The average Joe's superhero.
Yeah, I tend to agree to that.
The millennial superhero.
Everyday man. He's just driving to work just not doing anything a superhero does.
I won't even go there.
Still lives with his parents.
Okay, now
he's
throwing out the millennial stereotypes. I see how it is.
Housing market.
I see how it is. That's the baby boomer. What are you talking about?
It's okay. I can say that I'm a millennial.
Okay. Damn, you're roasting us over here.
No, actually, we are. I am like a year on the solidly within the cusp. There's some controversy as to where millennials start and where Generation Z starts, or where Generation Y.
I like Jenner Z.
Jenner Z. Yeah, where they begin and where millennials end. So we're like on the cusp of that. So we gotta be careful. Bianca, for anyone listening, my fiance, is literally on that cusp. According to some research centers, she is in Generation Z, and according to some, she is a millennial. But kind of interesting. But yeah, what about Catwoman? Yeah, what would she be? I don't have her on my list, but I mean, if we have Batman, then Catwoman is kind of
I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I can tell you for sure she's a feminist, but not a militant one. And not to say that.
There's some animal rights advocacy in there, of course.
Oh, absolutely. She could be environmentalist. Yeah.
I've got, speaking of Catwoman in that terrible movie starring Halle Berry, this is a perfect segue. I've got Storm as environmentalist.
Oh, that is absolutely perfect. Yes. I had Aquaman as an environmentalist.
I don't know. He might be for the rising sea levels.
He
might be all about it.
He actually wants more global
He's over
warming.
there like slipping money to politicians below the table. Like, yo.
Aquaman's
it's a fake.
Aquaman's day job is as a lobbyist for big oil companies. That makes me very happy. Maybe
he's ruler over the he's
coal maybe. Coal
he's
lobbies.
ruler over the oceans, right? So I mean,
yeah,
the more the sea levels rise, the more he dominates.
That's absolutely true.
I don't know if he is an environmentalist.
That's fair. Captain Planet, of course, we came up with that.
I mean, he's essentially the Green Party superhero. I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's like too easy. It's like.
It's on the nose. It truly is.
Too on the nose.
I had Deadpool as a total anarchist.
So do I, of course.
Yes.
But I also have the Joker, kind of not superhero, a supervillain, but
okay.
And then I have Rorschach.
Okay, interesting. I also had Venom as an anarchist.
Okay, yeah, sure.
In that kind of area.
So I wasn't the one who just did a villain.
No, yeah. Well, Venom is iffy. I mean, he's not a complete
that's right.
Like. It's difficult to say.
An anti-hero.
Yeah. Yeah, he would definitely be an anti-hero. Along with Deadpool. I wouldn't consider him a superhero either as well. I mean, anyone who fits in an anarchist ideology.
Well, I mean, after, 2008 and Heath Ledger's take on the Joker, there's a lot of, 13-year-old emo kids who seem to think Joker was an anti-hero as well.
Oh, man, no.
The posters, the Halloween costumes, and the quotable lines. I actually just watched that movie 2 days ago, and There's a lot of quotable lines in that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you remember a lot of them. Like, yes.
It was quite good. I have to admit that. Oh. I thought you were advertising for us.
Yes.
Ginger
Lido brand ginger ale. Notice that's why I'm holding it like this, and I'm like,
yep. Oh man, I went over Hellboy. Hellboy is also in the libertarian camp.
Okay.
I'm
not too familiar with Hellboy, so you can roll on that.
Yeah, very self-sufficient. He is a part of an organization, but not associated with the government. So he's kind of got that
privatized.
Yeah, very into the privatization, and he's an interesting one because he doesn't fit the standard libertarian concept. He's more of the neo-libertarian, the new school kind of era where he's more of a fiscal conservative, but a social liberal.
Okay.
Yeah, so he very much fits that that little paradigm there that you kind of see some of certain libertarians ascribing to that sort of ideology, whereas not a classical libertarian.
Which they want to hold on to their their more conservative economic values, but while still being more socially progressive because.
And they don't want to call them, and of course a lot of that is they don't want to call themselves a conservative or a Republican, in a lot of.
Well, sure, yeah, especially if because they don't want to, I guess, get lumped in with the same group that has very regressive ideas.
Yeah.
As far as social policy goes.
Absolutely. What else?
So I've got. This is an. Do you know what? Have you ever heard of a transhumanist?
No.
So transhumanist is basically a group that believes in. There it is. It's just from Wikipedia.
This makes for great podcasting.
Just talk while I was. So kind of they go with the idea of taking. This is not what I was reading earlier. Is this the same? It's kind of the idea of using, at least what I read earlier, of using sort of technology to sort of evolve humans down that route and taking the sort of blending of human capabilities and enhancement through
like cyborgs and shit.
And not quite, but working towards that. Yeah. So I have. You remember that movie? It was a comic originally, and then Disney came out with a cartoon. Big Hero 6. You remember that? Remember Baymax?
Yeah.
So Baymax, transhuman.
I mean,
that's reaching there, but.
Well, Cyborg would be the perfect transhumanist.
Okay.
Along with possibly Iron Man as well. Well, definitely Iron Man. Though I would disagree with Iron Man. I personally lumped Iron Man as a technocrat.
Sure, yeah.
An individual
following more along that, yeah.
Someone who believes that expertise should be king. Which I mean,
I don't think he would be in favor of kind of like genetic alteration or modification through implants and that kind of thing.
But
especially if it was
have the thing in
sure, but especially if it was, I guess, for the major
oh yes,
populace there.
No, he is. He definitely.
It's like sort of reserve that power for himself,
for the experts.
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, as technocrats, I had him as like my biggest technocrat, but also Beast Boy, not Beast Boy, Beast. Sorry, the blue furry guy. Yeah. Beast Boy's something different. But Beast, I mean, he's
remember when that came up last time.
Yeah. Beast is ultra intelligent, very, very smart. He's probably got some technocratic ideologies as well, who kind of believes research is the path for humanity. And a lot of technocrats, they don't really follow a political party per se. They follow the results of their research.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, of course, there are some downsides to being a technocrat as well, but I try to ascribe to that as much.
Are these is this the group of ideology that would typically push for having sort of like scientists in political arenas and positions of power?
Yes. Well, think of the like the president's cabinet.
Yeah.
All of them, unlike today's cabinet, all of the in a technocratic ideology, all of those cabinets would be filled by leaders in that field. So for education,
well, what about even members of Congress or those sort of areas as well?
Even that would have experts.
Because actually, I could see cabinet members like that. That would be a pretty interesting idea, actually, I think. So the executive branch having people in those certain fields filling those roles would actually make a lot of sense.
I've always been a proponent of actually changing or putting an amendment on the Constitution stipulating that
like a certain level of knowledge within that area required.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether through industry or education, education.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, you can see that in we actually see some technocratic prowess or ideation within the Department of Defense.
Sure.
Yeah, they are. Their leaders they're experts in
military. Seems to be the one exception where roles concerning defense and foreign affairs typically are people who might be within the military in that sense. But when it comes to something like transportation or education, you've got Ben Carson in his HUD.
Yeah, I mean. Someone who, he has no idea what's happening. I mean, I don't know what his childhood was like, but I'm pretty sure he's the.
I mean, he was a neurosurgeon.
Yeah, but I'm even before that. Like, one could make the argument if you experience living in that kind of situation, maybe you have an idea. So I don't give too much clout to that.
Wouldn't either, because you could be basing what you're advocating for on personal experience, and then you run into some huge issues.
I absolutely agree. But I don't really give too much validity to the argument, but I do want to acknowledge that the argument exists and basically state that for people who are trying to utilize that argument, maybe in an intelligent way, that Ben Carson probably grew up from wealthy parents as well. It's very likely.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. I mean,
most politicians, especially ultra wealthy politicians, grew up with pretty wealthy parents. I mean, it's rare that you see people kind of working from the ground up, or even people in working class families. Yeah, you looking it up?
Ben Carson up.
All right, let's figure this out. Am I correct?
Neurosurgeon, born in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, so it's possible.
Yale.
Oh, he went to Yale.
University of Michigan Medical School.
Okay.
He was portrayed by Cuba Gooding Jr. in the 2009 biographical television drama.
If you scroll down to parents or whatever, see what they did.
Early life, so Detroit.
Yeah.
Father was a World War II U.S. Army veteran.
Okay.
And wife was. His wife was, doesn't say. Apparently became a Baptist minister.
Oh.
But later a Cadillac automobile plant laborer. So.
Oh wow! So actually, I stand corrected.
Both of his parents came from large families in rural Georgia. They were living in rural Tennessee when they met and married.
Okay. So, no, he has some... he's one of the
Carson's
exceptions.
mother was 13, and his father was 28 when they married.
Wait, what? Okay.
Who wants to speak on that?
Nope. Not.
Yeah, they were born in a 733 square foot single family home detached on Deacon Street in southwest Detroit.
Damn. Yeah, no, I absolutely stand corrected. No, there are definitely some politicians who actually grew up as a person without wealth. I mean, Ben Carson being one of them, Elizabeth Warren being another. But no, I'd say the majority of these individuals had pretty wealthy upbringings.
Sure.
Or at least upper middle class. Yeah. But anyway, back on the
That was a weird little tangent.
Yeah. Fucking Ben Carson. We got from technocrats to the cabinet to Ben Carson and HUD.
Carson.
But anyway.
But no, that seems like it would be a pretty interesting idea or push. But I don't know as far as filling the entirety of Congress with people in those positions. Because some level you need...
Well, I don't think it should go that far.
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
I agree.
The prerequisites to becoming a member of Congress are already difficult enough to attain as it is, and adding extra barriers probably isn't a good thing. It makes for a possible ruling class,
as well as really when it comes to adapting data and what you should do for, I don't know how you say this, but when you might do a study or you might gather research on a certain area, and then you want to then take that and turn it into a certain policy, the person who would be doing that sort of study or gathering that and coming up with the conclusions isn't necessarily the best person to then develop those into a policy or something to benefit the people the best way. They might not really be good at that kind of thing, or even approach it in a way that would be effective. So I think that's kind of necessary. I'm not saying everybody loves to hate on politicians, but if in some areas they have a certain skill set that is necessary.
Oh, for sure.
That just a scientist or someone that's an expert in that field wouldn't have.
Now that's not to say that that they should not rely on scientific.
Oh, sure, yeah, they should be pulling that. Yeah, definitely, it should be like kind of a chain where they're they're getting the data, they're pulling all that evidence from them.
A lot of Congress does do that. I mean, they
as a good politician, I'd hope you'd be doing that.
And whatnot. But let's go back on to our superhero topic. I want to switch things up. Rather than asking about a superhero, who do you have in your communist party?
I don't have anybody from my communist party.
See, I couldn't find a damn person.
Any communists.
I couldn't find one communist superhero. I mean, none.
Really, you couldn't find a communist superhero?
No, I couldn't.
Does
Robin Hood count?
More of a socialist.
Yeah.
Kind of like a...
Well, I mean, socialism and communism...
Kind of a... Sure, I would say he's more of like a social anarchist or something.
Yeah, because he's non-governmental.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and
even
he's sort of living on those fringes of society and doing what he feels is, bolstering the poor and stealing from the rich kind of thing, but he's not like organizing sort of thing.
Exactly. I mean, if anything,
attack on the capital owner. Yeah.
But
he has some
libertarian populist,
some anarchism in him as well.
Yeah, I'll call him a libertarian populist, if that even makes sense at all. I don't know if it does. Maybe not.
That was Ron Paul.
Actually, no.
I agree. Ron Paul was a libertarian populist.
Yeah. No. Green Lantern.
I think he's a communist.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know what's the governmental structure of that.
Do not
of that
ask me. I
society.
have no idea.
I'm out of my depth
gonna touch
on this
that.
One. Just add us.
I'm already out of my depth on this one.
Method. If you have any comments about this,
tweet us the answer.
Yeah.
Also, tweet us the answer to the thing with Superman, and as far as the relation between Smallville's the name of the town, right? Or is that just the show? Because I know they did that show.
That's the name of the show. Metropolis was the city.
No, but I mean the town.
Smallville might have been the name of the town he was from. I'm trying to look up. I can't find a.
Because I know that's what the show was. But hey, plus wasn't the show in the show he was? I don't know how canon that show is.
Yeah,
but I remember he was a
teenager
at the time,
mm-hmm.
so that shows a progression of aging. I mean, he was a baby when they originally found him, and he got up to where he is now, and he kind of got frozen in time at the early 30s age.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of things that or a lot of shows that kind of do that. They halt the aging process at a certain time.
Well, not even shows, as far as in the grand scheme of Superman lore altogether. Is there a comic series that shows him moving into retirement?
No, I don't think so.
Is there a decline in his abilities?
I'm really not sure.
Does he go into retirement, go back to Krypton and
enjoy
some?
Didn't Krypton explode?
I don't know.
Am I imagining that?
I mean, I know a lot of these comic book series have multiple timelines and multiple different storylines that'll go on. So I don't know who sort of sets what is canon to the overall.
I gotta look up communist superhero. Let's see what we come up with. Communist.
Hey, what's up, Tasha?
What up?
You got a communist superhero for us?
Okay, hold on. From Comics Hall of... There are... Okay. Hold up.
It's a huge list. In the Soviet Union, how they would have, they would push for arts and kind of have, programs for, the ballet,
Russian
gymnastics.
Superheroes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So did they have this where they had, comic book artists would create communists or, Soviet Union style superheroes, like Captain Soviet Union or Captain USSR?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. China has a superhero squad called the Great 10. There are...
Of course, it's got to be 10 guys shoved into one superhero.
All working together to control one body. Black Widow. She's from Russia.
Just because she's from Russia doesn't mean she's communist.
It's close enough.
I wouldn't call Vladimir Putin a communist. He's from Russia.
No, he's a dictator. Oh. All right, you're right. She might be a fascist. Though I don't think she... I don't know. Yeah. Oh, y'all know Wolverine was Canadian?
Yeah. You know that?
No! He just became a little less cool. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn. Yeah, Deadpool's Canadian as well.
Oh, wait, who is?
Deadpool.
Yes, he is. Sadness.
Is he Canadian or is just the...
I think the actor is Canadian.
Not the actor. Ryan Reynolds is not Canadian.
I thought he was.
I thought the comic book was from Canada, as far as the original creator.
I'm out of my depth. I'm drowning.
You dragged me into this.
I'm drowning.
I already didn't know anything.
What about...
I'm just taking wild guesses.
Colossus is also Russian.
Who is Colossus?
He's the big... Actually, he's part of the X-Men. Let me...
Is that the guy that looks like a rock? Oh, the Fantastic Four. There's a nice communist group.
That's Colossus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Deadpool? The Deadpool movie?
Yes, he was absolutely in Deadpool. He's one of the few X-Men that really kind of shows up in the Deadpool comics.
Well, it's because... Oh, in the Deadpool comics specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's kind of interesting.
Well, I know there was the issues between like X-Men still being owned by Fox.
Yeah.
And then Marvel and how they weren't able to have the crossover.
Yeah, Disney will
just like originally they had Spider-Man, like why Spider-Man took so long to join
because it was owned by Sony.
Sony owned the rights, and then they're able to do a joint partnership.
Yeah. So now liberals, Democrats, who do you got?
What was that? You got somebody in mind? I don't know.
I do not.
No, I already threw out all my picks. I don't have anybody more.
Oh, you do?
So
I actually don't have any liberal superheroes. Maybe except for the Hulk. Well, Bruce Banner. The Hulk is definitely an anarchist.
Yeah, I could see Bruce Banner being.
Yeah.
Maybe Professor Xavier.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, now that I'd say Robin, just because of his age. He's probably a millennial at this point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Robin could be.
Is it because he was poor? He was originally poor, right? Wasn't his family like trapeze artists?
Depends on which Robin.
Isn't it like 3-4 Robins?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Who's the one that turned into Nightwing? Or is it Darkwing?
Nightwing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which of the Robins turned into... It's Nightwing, right?
Yes. Maybe.
Which of the
So this has been...
yeah, it's Nightwing. Dick
method.
Grayson. Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson.
Agent 37. What? He's the Hitman?
He's what?
Agent 37. Is from the Hitman games. No, that's 47. Never mind. Excuse me. I'm getting my everything confused over here. Agent 47, the bald guy with the barcode on the back of his head from the
that would be something. Oh man. Actually, so liberal superheroes. Let's see what comes up.
This is really going downhill fast.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
This is awful.
This is a shit. There's Rainbow Man.
That's what comes up when
Oh my, okay, nope.
That's what comes up.
This is the end of the podcast. We probably should have stuck with the technocratic discussion.
Yeah, that was going, that was starting pretty intelligent.
Good. Yeah. But this just got shit, man. This just turned to shit. All right,
enough of that.
Thank y'all for listening to this.
What's the hint for Sunday?
Sunday, pieces are one.
Starfire, in the cartoon version, she was very much like Williamson.
Thank you. Y'all are awesome.
Thanks.
I have no idea.
That was your fiance.
Thank you, Bianca. This, I don't want to say that this was the pluralist method.
This
podcast was an abomination.
This was. I can't even think of anything clever to say to that.
We will come out with an apology on Sunday.
Maybe like a 10-minute apology before we even start.
We'll have to bow like in anime. The further you put your head down, is the greater shame you're portraying.
Lots of shame.
Our head will be through the floor.
What's the hint? What's the hint?
Yeah, many pieces become one.
Many pieces become. That sounds like communism to me.
Dang, everything's communism with you, Jeremy.
It's the Red Scare. Well, everything's Beast Boy, or what was the other?
I like Beast Boy.
No, what was the other one you kept bringing up? Never mind.
I don't remember.
We'll think about it after the show.
I cosplayed as Beast Boy. At Hampton Comic Con.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Bianca was pretty good. It was great. Right. I enjoyed it. Anyway, right. Like or subscribe.
Like and subscribe, not or subscribe. I mean, they don't get a choice. You do both, or you do none.
All right.
Follow us on Twitter, Pluralist Method.
All right. Yes.
Tweet us those answers.
Yes, and
throw us a tip if you can.
And do not email about how shitty this episode was. We know. All right. My name's Dylan.
I'm Jeremy.
And
Have
see you
a
later.
good day.